Maya stood under the flickering overhead light, soaked from the knees down, clutching a soggy paper ticket that had basically become papier-mâché. Her oversized vintage hoodie, faded lavender, Chicago Art Fest 2019, cracking off the front, hung heavy on her shoulders. Her wide-leg cargo pants were soaked at the hems. Her white low-top chucks had given up entirely. One of her small silver hoop earrings had gone missing somewhere between the cab and the platform. She did not even care. She had missed the last train to St. Louis. Her brother's graduation. 4 years of him working 3 jobs and night classes, and she had missed it because her boss had kept her 40 extra minutes for a meeting that could have been a text. Maya dropped onto a cold metal bench. The fluorescent light above her buzzed and blinked like it was also having a bad night. The station was mostly empty now. Just her, a janitor pushing a mop cart in the distance, and the sound of rain hammering the glass ceiling overhead. Then a voice cut through. "Get me legal on the phone. Right now. I don't care what time it is in London." She looked up. He was standing 10 feet away, one hand pressed flat against the glass wall, staring out at the rain like it owed him something. Tall. Built like someone who never actually relaxed. Black fitted turtleneck, dark gray trousers, dress shoes that cost more than Maya's monthly rent and somehow were not even damp. His jaw was sharp enough to cut something. His dark eyes, even from here, looked like they had not slept in weeks. He snapped the phone from his ear and turned. He caught her staring. Maya looked away fast. Too late. "You okay?" His voice was lower without the phone. Less sharp. "I missed my train," she said. The words came out flat, tired, embarrassingly honest. He walked over and sat down on the bench 2 feet away from her. No invitation. No awkward ask. Just sat down like the universe had assigned him that seat. "Where were you going?" "St. Louis." She exhaled. "My little brother's graduation." He was quiet for a second. "The next train is 6 in the morning." "Yeah. I know." She pulled at a loose thread on her hoodie sleeve. "Congratulations to me." He looked at her for a long moment, like he was reading something in her face she had not given him permission to read. "I'm Eli Voss." She glanced sideways. "Is that supposed to mean something to me?" Something moved in his expression. Not offense. More like relief. "No," he said. "That's actually kind of great." Maya Reyes. She did not extend her hand. He did not seem to expect her to. The rain got louder. The janitor's mop cart squeaked around a corner and disappeared. "I have a car outside," Eli said. "Driver's waiting. I was supposed to fly to St. Louis tonight for a meeting tomorrow morning." He paused. "Road's still open." Maya turned her whole body toward him. "You're a stranger offering me a ride to another city in the middle of the night in the rain." "Yes. That is insane." "Probably." He stood, buttoned the single button on his jacket. "But you'll be sitting on this bench until 6 a.m. otherwise, and I think your night has been bad enough." Maya stared at him. His face was unreadable but not unkind. There was something behind those tired eyes, something that looked less like a man trying to impress someone and more like a man who was exhausted and, for 1 second, did not want to be alone either. "If you try anything," she said slowly, "I have pepper spray and absolutely nothing left to lose tonight." The corner of his mouth moved. Almost a smile. "Almost." "Noted," he said. "You coming?" Maya looked at her ruined shoes. At the blinking light above her. At the empty platform where her train used to be. She stood up. The car was a black SUV that smelled like leather and cedar and money. Quiet in the way expensive things are quiet. The rain beat against the windows as the driver pulled onto the highway, and Maya watched the city lights bleed into wet streaks on the glass. Eli sat across from her in the back seat, jacket off now, rolled to his forearms, phone face down on the center console. He had not touched it since they got in. That surprised her. "You're not going to answer your London thing?" she asked. "It can wait." Sounded urgent. Everything sounds urgent. Most of it isn't. He looked out the window. "What do you do, Maya Reyes?" "Freelance graphic designer. I pitch brands their whole visual identity and then they lowball me and I still take the job because rent exists." "You're good at it?" "I'm really good at it." No hesitation. "I just don't have the right connections yet." He turned toward her at that. Not in a patronizing way. More like he was paying attention. "What's your brother studying?" The question caught her off guard. She had expected him to steer back to himself. Rich guys always did. "Engineering," she said. "Structural. He wants to build bridges." A short laugh escaped her. "Like, actual bridges. He used to build them out of popsicle sticks when we were kids and test how much weight they could hold." "Did they hold?" "Every single one." Her voice softened without her permission. "He's the only person in our family who ever finished anything they started." Eli was quiet. He was looking at her like what she was saying mattered. "Why didn't you tell your boss you had to leave?" he asked. "Because I need the job." She turned to face him fully. Not everyone can hang up on London at midnight. He did not flinch at that. "Fair." They rode in silence for a while. Not uncomfortable. Just real. Then Maya asked, "Why are you really going to St. Louis?" "Meeting. Acquisition. At 7 a.m. on a Sunday. The other party flies out at 9. That's not the real reason." Eli looked at her. A long beat. "What makes you say that?" "Because you've been staring out that window like someone who's going somewhere hard. Not somewhere boring." She shrugged. "I'm a designer. I read faces for a living." The silence stretched between them like a wire pulled tight. "My father is in St. Louis," he finally said. "We haven't spoken in 3 years. The meeting is real, but it's in his building. His company." A muscle moved in his jaw. "I built mine from scratch specifically to never need his. And now I need his." Maya did not say she was sorry. She did not say anything for a moment. "Does he know you're coming?" "No. Eli. I know." She exhaled slowly. "Okay, so we are both, right now, in a car on a rainy highway going somewhere terrifying for completely different reasons." For the first time all night, he actually smiled. Not almost. Fully. It completely changed his face. Like a light had been flipped on behind his eyes. "Yeah," he said quietly. "I guess we are." Maya looked away first because something about that smile made her chest do a thing she was not ready to examine. The highway hummed under the tires. The rain kept falling. And somewhere in the dark miles between Chicago and St. Louis, something between them quietly, dangerously shifted. Then Eli's phone lit up on the console. Not London. A name. 2 words, Sophia Voss. His smile vanished. Maya watched it leave his face like a door slamming shut. "You should answer that," she said carefully. He picked it up, looked at the screen for 3 full seconds. "I know," he said. But he did not answer it. He turned the phone face down again. And did not say another word about it. St. Louis at 4 a.m. looked like a city still deciding whether to wake up. The driver stopped at a hotel that had a revolving door and a lobby that glowed gold at this hour. Eli stepped out first, said 2 quiet words to the driver, and then opened Maya's door before she could get there. She climbed out into the cool pre-dawn air, her damp hoodie finally starting to dry. She tugged the sleeves over her hands. You don't have to do this, she said. There's a room available. It would be weird to drop you at your brother's dorm at 4 in the morning. He held the lobby door open. One night. I promise I'm not trying to be dramatic about it. You literally picked up a soaked stranger at a train station and drove 4 hours. You made the drive less quiet. He said it simply, like it was just a fact and not something that could split her open a little. Inside, the lobby smelled like vanilla and warm air. Marble floors. A sleepy front desk clerk who did not question anything because Eli clearly stayed here enough that his name unlocked a different level of service. They rode the elevator up to the 8th floor in silence. At her door, Eli handed her the keycard. Graduation's at 10, he asked. 9:30. I'll have the driver take you. Eli. Maya. He looked at her steadily. Let me do something decent tonight. I haven't done much of that lately. She searched his face. That exhaustion was back, sitting heavy behind his eyes. Who is Sophia Voss? She asked. His expression locked. She called 3 times after you stopped looking at your phone, Maya continued quietly. And you looked like you saw a ghost every time. A long pause. My wife, he said. The word landed between them like a stone dropped into still water. Maya stepped back. One small step. Separated, he added, fast. 8 months. That's still married. I know what it is. She pressed her keycard into her palm. Why didn't you just say that? Because I didn't want you to look at me like you're looking at me right now. She did not know what to do with that honesty. It was too raw, too real, sitting there in the quiet hotel hallway at 4 in the morning with the overhead lights humming soft gold. I wasn't doing anything, she said finally. Neither were you. It was just a car ride. Was it? She had no answer for that. Get some sleep, she said. You have to go see your dad in a few hours. He nodded. Stepped back. Good luck with your brother. She opened her door. Eli. She turned back. For what it's worth. You seem like someone worth knowing. That part is real, even if the rest is complicated. She went inside before she could see whatever his face did with that. She sat on the edge of the hotel bed in her dry hoodie and cargo pants, staring at the wall, feeling something she had no name for humming in her chest. Her phone buzzed. A text from her brother. Danny, you're not here, are you? Maya typed back fast. I'm in St. Louis. I'll be there tomorrow morning. I promise. I'm sorry. 3 dots. Then. Danny, did something happen? She looked at the wall. At the ceiling. At the city lights leaking in through the curtain. Yeah, she typed. Something happened. She set the phone down. Outside in the hallway, she heard a door close quietly. She wondered if he was sleeping or if he was staring at the ceiling too. At 6 a.m., her alarm went off. There was a folded note slipped under her door. She picked it up. One line, handwritten. Driver's waiting downstairs. Don't be late for him. He earned it. E. Maya pressed the note flat against her palm. And then her phone buzzed again. Not a text. A news alert. She read the headline. And her stomach dropped straight through the floor. The article was 3 paragraphs long and it hit like a building falling. Voss Industries heir stages hostile takeover of father's company amid personal scandal. Sources confirm Eli Voss, CEO of Voss Capital, has acquired a controlling stake in Voss and Hart Holdings, the company founded by his estranged father, Richard Voss. The acquisition, finalized Friday, blindsides company shareholders. According to insiders, Eli's estranged wife, Sophia Voss, was the anonymous source who leaked confidential board documents last month, allegedly in exchange for her own financial settlement, a move sources say Eli himself orchestrated to force the takeover. Maya read it twice. Then a third time. She went downstairs. The driver was waiting, warm coffee on the console. She got in. At the graduation, the sun was blazing and her brother Danny stood in a sea of black gowns and mortarboard hats, tall and grinning, scanning the crowd. When he spotted her, his whole face opened up like a window. She ran to him. He picked her up even though she was older. She laughed into his shoulder and held on. "You look rough," he said warmly. "Rough night." She squeezed him harder. "I'm so proud of you. You smell like a hotel." "Shut up." She watched him walk across the stage and felt something in her chest repair itself quietly, one small stitch at a time. But the article sat in the back of her mind like a splinter. That evening, outside the venue, while Danny went to find his friends, Maya's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. "It's Eli." Her jaw tightened. "I read the headline." Silence on his end. "You used her," Maya said. Her voice stayed even. "Barely. Your own wife. You leaked through her. Made it look like she betrayed you. That's how you got the board documents. That's how you forced the takeover. It's more complicated than that." "Is it?" She agreed to it, Maya. It was mutual. The marriage was over. She got her settlement. I got the company. So the whole story you told me in the car. She stopped. Started again. Was that real, or was that you practicing being a person? The silence this time was longer. Both, he finally said. She pulled the phone away from her face for a second. Stared at the clear afternoon sky. "I liked you," she said when she came back. "In that car. On that highway. I genuinely liked you." "I know. That's not a compliment right now." "I know that too. Why are you calling me?" Another pause. And then, quietly, he said, "Because my father didn't show up to the meeting." Maya went still. "He had a stroke last week. He's in the hospital right now, Maya. And I did not know until I walked into that building this morning." His voice was tight, controlled in the way things are controlled when they are about to break. "I took his company. And I didn't even know he was sick." Maya closed her eyes. "I've been sitting in this hospital parking lot for 4 hours, Eli continued. And you are the only person I wanted to call." "Why me?" she whispered. "You don't even know me. Because you're the only person today who knew me before the headline." She stood in the graduation crowd noise, sunlight on her face, the note from this morning still folded in the pocket of her cargo pants. "Which hospital?" she asked. The hospital smelled like antiseptic and recycled air and the specific kind of quiet that only exists in places where people are fighting to stay. Maya found Eli in the parking garage stairwell, sitting on a concrete step, elbows on his knees, tie pulled loose. His turtleneck was gone, replaced by a white dress shirt still crisp at the collar but completely wrecked everywhere else, untucked, sleeves rolled, top 2 buttons open. He looked like a man who had been very put together for a very long time and had just run completely out of the ability to maintain it. He looked up when he heard her footsteps. Something moved across his face. Not surprise. Not relief. Something quieter and deeper than both. "You came," he said. "I came." She sat down on the step next to him. Not close, but close enough. Her hoodie was tied around her waist now. She had Danny's graduation ribbon still looped around her wrist from where he had put it there as a joke. "How is he?" she asked. "Stable. He's awake." Eli rubbed a hand over his jaw. "He doesn't know I'm here." "Are you going in?" A long beat. "I took everything he built." "You built everything you have," she said carefully. "Those aren't the same." I used his company as a weapon, Maya. Because I was angry. His voice cracked at the edges. Because he walked out when I was 12 and I spent 20 years building something bigger than him instead of just saying that I was hurt. She let that sit in the stairwell air. That's the most honest thing you've said since I met you, she said. Yeah. He exhaled. I know. Is that why you orchestrated the whole thing with Sophia? Because you needed to feel like you won something? He did not answer right away. When he did, his voice was low. I told myself it was business. That everyone agreed and everyone benefited. But yeah. He looked at his hands. Yeah, I think I needed to win something. Maya was quiet for a moment. You should go see him, she said. What if he doesn't want to see me? That's his choice. But showing up is yours. She turned to face him. Showing up matters. You literally said that to me on a plane. He stared at her. I said that to you in a car. Same energy. He almost laughed. That same real, full laugh from the night before that made him look like himself. Eli. Her voice gentled. You can carry all of this and still walk through that door. One doesn't cancel the other. He stood slowly. Rolled his sleeves back down. Buttoned one cuff and then the other. Maya watched him put himself back together, quietly and carefully, like someone who had done it before and would probably have to keep doing it. He turned to her. I don't know what this is, he said. Between us. I don't know what to call it. You don't have to call it anything right now. But I want to know you, Maya. For real. Not a highway at midnight. All of it. She looked at him for a long moment. At the exhaustion in his face and the honesty underneath it. At the man who had picked up a stranger in a rainstorm because he was lonely and real and tired of performing a version of himself that did not feel like enough. She thought about the note still folded in her pocket. Call me when you come out, she said. I'll be here. He nodded once. Pushed through the stairwell door. She heard his footsteps fade down the hospital corridor. Maya leaned her head back against the concrete wall. The graduation ribbon on her wrist caught the fluorescent light. Her phone buzzed. Danny, hey, who was that guy who dropped you off? He looked like a main character. She laughed. A real one. The kind that comes from somewhere deep and tired and alive. She typed back, that's a long story. Danny, tell me everything. She put the phone down and smiled at the ceiling. Some things start broken. Some roads begin in the rain. Some people find each other in the worst moments, which is maybe the only moment when you can see who someone actually is, not who they have decided to perform. Maya did not know what came next. Neither did Eli. But she was here. And he was walking through a door he had been circling for 20 years. And sometimes that is exactly enough. The end.